Back here live from Beef O'Brady's here for the 29th Annual Indiana High School Football Kickoff Show here in Granger, Indiana. I'm joined with Mike Davidson, the head coach for the Mishawaka Marian Knights. Coach, 11-1, obviously undefeated regular season, and breeze your way through sectional and regional, only to fall short to Chittard, 18-13, but still an unbelievable season. Given what has happened over the last 2 years, what do you think it was about that season and what that really drove the kids to have that type of year? Ultimately falling just a little short in semi-state, but given the circumstances that happened, what was the biggest thing that you think motivated those kids to do as well as they did?
I think, as always with any season, great senior leadership. Those guys in a season unlike any other really came together, and I think really that shutdown in the spring and the unknown. At the time, our basketball team was, I think, in the regional championship, if I'm not mistaken. And so hitting that close to home for those seniors, I think really drove them, maybe more so than other schools, maybe not. But I think that had a tremendous effect on us from a mental perspective.
And then, of course, I have to assume when it comes from summer workouts perspective, last summer was a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Then I bet, so it was probably from 0% to 100% difference from last season to this season. Tell us a little bit more about how the summer workouts have gone and what really has been the biggest differences and growth for each of the players from last season compared to this season.
We've had we graduated a good class, and so it's been it's a little bit different because we had a lot of knowns coming back last year, regardless of COVID, and so with this year there's a lot more unknowns. There's a lot more rotating, a lot more competitions at different positions, and you see kids competing. Not that our kids didn't compete last year, but there's just
right.
a little bit more edge. And so that's certainly good to see, and you want to see that. And so I think that's been the biggest difference. As far as a day-to-day, it's a little less hectic for me. So.
And of course,
good.
Absolutely, and I got to talk about a player. I look at the roster, and a Greg Atkinson Jr. IFCA All-State and All-Conference player who's just been really, really big for you.
Yeah.
What is it about his game, or what have you seen the most when it comes to his growth for this team, whether it be on the field, maybe even off the field? What is it about Atkinson Jr. that makes him the player, or even the person that he is right now?
Yeah, I can speak to both. As a sophomore, he had a stubborn head coach that said, "You're only a sophomore. You don't need to go both ways." And he proved his head coach wrong, that he should have been going both ways last year as a junior. And he's electric anytime. He's got the ball in his hands. But then when you look at it from a both offensive, defensive, and even special teams wise, he affects the game because of his position on the field. You don't want to kick to him. You don't want to throw at him. And you got to know where he's at on the offensive side of the ball. So he has a tremendous impact on the game, and his speed is up there with anybody else that I've ever seen. Off the field, he's probably one of the top 2 or 3 this summer that have grown up more so than anybody else. And all the credit in the world to him. He's bought into the leadership. He was a quiet kid his first couple of years, so he's bought into being a better leader and being a more vocal leader. Coaching up the young guys has been tremendous to see.
And Coach, of course, undefeated in the NIC, which has some really, really tough schools. And I always feel a conference, whatever conference you play in, can really help you prepare for the postseason. So what can you tell me about the NIC and how much of an impact that conference has on you to get you ready for the postseason tournament?
Yeah, we're the little boy in there. We're a little 3A school, and I think we embrace that a little bit, and it certainly prepares us going down the road into sectionals, regionals, and hopefully beyond, going up against the likes of Penn, Elkhart, New Prairie, St. Joe, Adams, Mishawaka. We got Angola this year. Going up against those bigger schools certainly prepare us from a physical perspective, from a competitive perspective. I mean, we're in dogfights for 3 or 4 of those games, and then when we're not always going to run through sectionals like we did. You're going to hit that point in sectionals, regionals, wherever, where it's going to be a 4-quarter game, and you better be ready. And I think the competition we have in the regular season really prepares us for it.
And, of course, to wrap things up, you open up with Mishawaka. That should be an absolutely great match as in terms of both for competition to get you guys ready and, of course, just in terms of the excitement of that. As you get ready for that game, what about just this season in general, given what's happened over the last year and a half, 2 years? What about this season are you most looking forward to?
Just competing. I mean, I know that's sort of plain, but you go through the whole off season. You got your first day of hitting. You get all that out of the way, and now the game plan prep, and then getting out under the lights. I know our guys are ready. I got all the respect in the world for Coach Kinder and the Mishawaka program. I know that's going to be a bloodbath, and I know that they're going to come ready to go. We're going to have to bring our A game just to be in it. So hopefully we've done enough by that time to give them a game and get going for the next however long we can make a run.
Once again, that's head coach Mike Davidson of the Mishawaka Marian Knights. Coach, thank you so much for taking some time, and best of luck this upcoming season.
Thank you.